Before we get to the main program, we'd like to provide an update to you as well on Bradley Tech, another important educational issue. As you know, Bradley Tech and Trade High School has long been a major effort of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. Our leadership has stressed its importance, and we've ramped up our efforts with the school's recently reformatted commission with a new plan and new metrics called Bradley Tech Plan 3.0 to ensure the school's success. The M3 partnership of the leaders of Milwaukee Public Schools, Milwaukee Area Technical College, and the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee has been working extremely hard to effect change at Bradley Tech and throughout other parts of our educational system. To share more about these efforts, I'd like to introduce MATC President Vicki Martin, who is also President of the Commission, UWM Chancellor Mark Money. Unfortunately, MPS Superintendent Dr. Darian Driver had planned to be here, but she had a family emergency, is not able to be here. Instead, we have Eric Ramdomsky, who's over career and technical education for MPS, who will be taking her place. So Dr. Martin, Dr. Monet, and Eric, if you'd like to come up.
Good afternoon. We're delighted to be here, and I will say from UW-Milwaukee, I'm also joined by the Dean of our School of Education, Alan Choho. Alan is our point person on the commission. So I'll give a little bit of background, and then I'll hand it over to Dr. Vicki Martin from MATC, and then we'll also include Eric Radomski from MPS in terms of some of the details as a quick overview of where we are today with Bradley Tech. Some of you probably know, but I'll share a little further background because you may not all know the storied history of Bradley Tech. It began in 1906 as a tech and trade school, and it served males until 1976. It's got a long and storied history. At one point, it was the largest high school in Wisconsin with 2,900 students. Notable alumni include our own Bob Euchre, Eric Benet, the musician, has people who have gone on to become 4-star generals in the Air Force, people that represent Bradley Tech and Milwaukee in the NFL, NBA, as well as Major League Baseball, multiple players in each of those areas. So it's a pretty remarkable school in terms of its legacy and impact beyond the tech and trade areas, which of course is the primary pipeline of the talent. 1976, the name was changed after women were admitted to become the Milwaukee Trade and Technical High School, and then Jane Pettit Bradley in 2002 gave $20 million to the school, and it became the Lyndon Harry Bradley Technology and Trade School. A little further detail, a little further background. At that time in 1999, there was a commission that was created conceptually. This commission was formed as a result of an intergovernmental cooperation agreement between MPS, MATC, and UW-Milwaukee. And some of you remember at the time the individuals who were involved, but from UW-Milwaukee's perspective, Nancy Zimpher was our chancellor at the time, and I served on her cabinet. And if there was anything to do with technology at the time, in terms of TechStar and tech transfer and other things like that, I was her point person for that. So I was involved with some of the original work at that time and know the players and know that we had a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of energy associated with really bringing Bradley Tech forward. The mission at that time was to enable students to develop lifelong learning skills and follow the well-defined trade and technical paths. Even at that time, what we recognized was that there were not enough people going into the trades, not enough people getting technical training to provide the talent that's needed, and that's still the case today. And so moving forward, what we said then I think is still the case, and basically the idea is to talk about a systematic and comprehensive approach to providing technical and trade education. What's different and what we brought at the time and what we've made a recommitment to, given the new leadership that you have in the last year at MPS, MATC, and UWM, is this. A new commission that's been formed with some legacy members and some new members that have representatives from, as you can see without reading through all the names, but representatives from MPS, UWM, MATC, multiple individuals from GMC, Mayor's Office, Milwaukee County Labor Council, Building Trades Council, MTEA, Bradley Tech Alumni Association, we're still holding a spot for the Bradley Tech School Governance Council, and then Julia Taylor as the ex officio. And this is Julia, quite the working ex officio, I must say. She is incredible in terms of the effort and spearheading so many different things to help keep things really moving forward. So that's the background, and the only other comment that I'd make is the work that you heard a little bit about, and we'd love to talk more with you at a future point, is around what we call M-Cube. M-Cube stands for the work that MPS, MATC, and UWM are doing together, and the name is meant to be exponential because that's what we think the impact will be across the 143,000 students that are represented by the 3 largest public Wisconsin-serving institutions in the state. That's the backbone of M-Cubed, and we have specific goals. And as it turns out, M-Cubed, because of our partnership, the Bradley Tech Commission and our intergovernmental agreement, that's one of the tangible outcomes, but there's much more to M-Cubed than just that. Today you'll hear a little bit more in terms of the detail. You can see the highlight here around innovation, multi-pronged plan that Vicki will be talking about that's more sustainable. So with that said, I'll stand down and ask Vicki to join.
Thanks, Mark. Good afternoon, everyone. So what we did is we decided that as we are a new commission in terms of our membership, we decided to look at a plan that was currently out there, which was the Bradley Tech 2.0 plan by Scott Jensen and the commission at that time. And we said it's time to update it, to review it, to strengthen it, and to see how we might move forward with that and build on the shoulders of that plan. So here are the 4 goals that a team of us came up with, and this is for the next 5 years. And then we have specific goals related to each of these that I'll go through. So the first goal is about academic success. And we know that there's been a lot of talk and concern about the preparedness of the students who are attending Bradley Tech High School. And so we have put together some indicators for each of the goals, and we want to make sure that we are focused on literacy, career pathways, and really making sure we have a more positive school culture. So you see the indicators are improving reading, math proficiency, and decreasing the number of 9th grade suspensions. So here's the progress, and this is progress to date in the last few months. We've really just started this in May, the process of beginning to work together. I believe we have a number of commission members. I'm starting to see them here. Can you raise your hand if you're a commission member? Yeah, there you go. Sorry. Good to see you. Okay, so here's some progress. Heightened focus on literacy. We are following a model that was out east in Boston, and they are considered one of the best high schools out there, and they weren't at one point. And so we're really looking at literacy as being one of the focuses. We are building pathways, and I have Eric Radomski here who will just bring up a few items about those pathways.
Sure, I would just add that after the original pathways were constructed, since then the associate deans at MATC have met in the last couple of weeks and put together additional pathways that expand on the original draft of those pathways. They put together a draft proposal, and we're meeting with the Bradley Tech teachers and administration this week for their feedback. And we'll cover that on Friday. We'll discuss it with our Educational Standards Committee, which has members from UWM, MATC, and Milwaukee Public Schools. And we'll get feedback from them and move forward from there.
Right, and we were really looking at here the early college model or dual enrollment pathways so that students will be able to get a technical diploma from MATC and also graduate as well. They could also earn college credits along the way. Community schools, Bradley Tech is one of 4. Chris Pizak is here. Chris? Thank you so much for coming from United Way, so we really appreciate that. Also, we have a violence-free zone. We are one of 8 of the MPS schools that is in the violence-free zone. And mindfulness is a model that is being used, and UW-Madison researchers have found that the schools who employ mindfulness as a practice find that student achievement increases. Goal 2 is about enrollment and participation. And so we've identified some feeder schools. We have some new strategies to make sure students have an interest, and we're adjusting enrollment practices. So some of the key indicators here is to increase the number of students who pre-select tech to 70%. It's currently at 30%. There was. And then placement rate into post-secondary ed up to 40%. So progress on that goal is, these are the 4 feeder schools that have been identified. For Bradley Tech, it's just one, 4 of many. And I'd like to also say that we are using career cruising. So when you see below the progress from 60% now of freshmen selected Bradley Tech, that was because using the 8th grade career cruising tool and having so many unassigned students, MPS decided that they would then look at the career interest of the students and then link them back to, of course, Bradley Tech to make sure that they in fact had an interest in it. There was a tech camp in the summer that also helped to bring some students into Bradley Tech, and there will be an open house on October 15th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the school. We've also, MPS has moved enrollment to the fall from the spring, which should give us more time. And a student recruiter has recently been hired from AmeriCorps, and we'll be working with Chris. Goal 3 is about communities and partners, realizing the work of the commission, business and industry, alumni, and of course in the neighborhood in which Bradley Tech resides, in the Walker Point neighborhood. So some progress on there. Leveraging our M-Cubed partnership to make sure that we have a more engaged commission. And I believe that that is in fact occurring. We're meeting every month and we're making progress. Also, we have launched the MATC Promise, which we have talked specifically to all of the principals in MPS, all of the counselors, and the faculty and staff of Bradley Tech, and they're very excited about it. Business and industry, I would like to have Eric Radomski also talk about that piece a little bit.
Sure. So there's 3 current advisory boards at Bradley Tech, one in each general area. So we have one for manufacturing and engineering, one for architecture and construction, and one for digital media and information technology. And all 3 of those boards met earlier in September, and all are scheduled to meet again at the end of October.
Yeah.
The teachers are putting together sort of a menu of career-based learning activities for those partners to react to and volunteer for. We like to get them involved with our students as much as possible. And I look forward to working with the new industry liaison to build additional partnerships and strengthen the ones that we currently have.
Right, and I just would like to thank Mary Lou Young. Is she here today? But I'd like to thank her from United Way for helping us with the community school initiative. And the last goal is we're really looking at the faculty and staff, making sure that we have the kind of retention that we need, especially in the principal position and professional development opportunities. So progress, we did work to hire a new principal, Ms. Torres, who has already been out into the neighborhood, meeting with area businesses and letting them know that she is there and that she will be really on top of things at the school. She definitely is interested and has wanted to be the principal. And so we're really very hopeful that there will be a long relationship with Bradley Tech. And then there was a Meet the Commission event, as I mentioned earlier, with staff and educators. And then there was a community meeting hosted by Alderman Perez, which had a very positive outcome. We are also looking at pedagogy, CTE teacher education. We know there's a shortage of CTE teachers, and so UW-Milwaukee and MATC are working on a career pathway and an educational pathway at UWM to help with that as well. So we're asking if people could get involved, and you have a letter, I believe, in front of you that really outlines for me and our commission what we've been doing and the progress we've been making. And if you go to our website, we have a lot of information about the positive things that in fact are happening at Bradley Tech. Thank you so much.
If you've got questions about Bradley Tech, I think you can catch any of us afterwards. And again, I really appreciate everybody's commitment and efforts. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, including weekly phone calls and lots of discussion to keep things moving forward. I have a quick update on our Commons project in an upcoming event. I think if you've seen a lot of the issues out there about the need for innovative talent, that companies need to run their businesses, we have been, as a fact, come out with the Commons, which is a program that attracts, develops, and retains the brightest college students in Wisconsin and creates opportunities for them that will keep them here in Wisconsin. It's a truly unprecedented collaboration among 21 universities, businesses, and entrepreneurial communities that come together to make an impact. We've had a lot of people ask us questions about what's going on there. We'd like to invite you to come and visit. If you've been to Ward 4, it's an incredible accelerator space that's down at the very beginning of the 5th Ward. Hope you'll come on November 2nd between 5 to 7. You'll be also getting an email on it. A lot of young people there, both on the entrepreneurial edge as well as in college that are interested in entrepreneurship. They need your help. They'd like to meet you and have you learn more about this program. The evening will also have a special commentary from County Exec Chris Abele, Dr. Michael Lovell, Dr. Mary Meehan, Todd Teskey, and several Commons alumni, including a Marquette University student who used his Commons experience to actually do a startup. So it's a great space with great people. We'll hope you'll take the time to come and show up. You'll be getting an invitation via email later this afternoon. And please try to RSVP by October 30th. So please put that down in your date book or your iPhone, whatever you're going to use, right? Nothing like dating yourself in front of everybody, right? Okay. In public, in front of global shapers, no less. It's like, gee. Okay.